folks, welcome back to the Critic Corp. Today we're going to review Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yes, sir.
Probably the best multiverse that we are ever going to see cinematically for
And the best movie
a
of
while.
2022.
Honestly, like...
Yeah, definitely the most out there and unique.
And the best movie of 2022.
They did it well. Like, there was
Top Gun.
no mishaps.
And head and shoulders above the rest of the movies in 2022.
Speaking of head and shoulders, should we just get out the gate with it? Let's talk about Radcliffe.
I was going to say, if we're talking about the head, just go straight for the head, like Thor should have.
Straight for the head, man.
Literally.
But yeah, so those of you that haven't seen this movie, it is probably like... nothing compares to it. There's nothing I can relate it to, honestly. Like, it's in a whole different genre of its own, like...
It's
just
a genre
wild.
splicer. It's
Yeah.
got everything in it between action,
It's everything, everywhere.
all at once.
Like...
And they all in one spot, the whole scene.
Michelle,
One scene, the whole movie.
let me just talk about Michelle Yeoh. She has been in Hollywood for fucking ever, and I'm so happy to see her be the lead in a movie finally. And in a movie this fucking good. They kind of do some playing with her actual life in the movie, because she is a, the martial arts type fighting.
Yeah.
She's usually a martial arts actress. So seeing her kind of play into that and spoof on it a little bit was kind of cool. But her acting was phenomenal in this. I love the character of Evelyn. Seeing where she starts off and where she ends up, just the entire growth and character arc of Evelyn throughout the movie was really special to me. This movie had me tearing up on multiple occasions.
The rock scene.
Right. I have
Rock
never
scene
been
was-
so emotionally invested in...
Two rocks with googly eyes.
Yeah.
That boy did hit, it hit on something different, the rock scene. It was crazy. No words,
Just subtitles.
Yeah.
Literally.
And it just... it told its own story, man.
Just the view and some rocks.
I felt for those rocks.
Man.
I've never been so emotionally attached to a rock before.
And Ki Hoi Kwan's return to Hollywood for the first time since Goonies. It was really nice seeing him. I thought his martial arts and everything was through the fucking roof when he starts whooping ass with the fanny pack.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
dude, that whole scene was amazing. I gotta say, when the movie started, I remember looking over to you and I was just like, what the hell are we watching?
Yeah, the first 10 minutes, you're like, it's a little slow to start, but once you get into the thick of what's going on, once you see
Once
the
the fanny
alpha,
pack scene comes through.
once the alpha woman
Jack,
comes along
bro.
even, like, and starts explaining this shit after he opens the umbrella in the elevator, you're like, alright, something's going on, and eventually it just keeps on rapidly building and progressing.
To a nice close, I would have to say.
Yeah.
It couldn't have closed better.
Yeah.
What? I know the daughter's name is Joy, but what is the actual name?
Stephanie?
No, the character. I mean...
Oh, what her, like, evil villain name is?
Yeah. Let me see.
Oh, here you go. Hold on.
It should have it.
She was called...
And she did good.
No, but yeah, I loved her just ticking through all of
Oh,
the
Jobu
different...
Tupaki.
Yeah, Joe Tabagi.
Yeah.
The Jobu Tupaki.
Yeah, the way they introduced her, you wouldn't have thought it would be her daughter.
Oh.
No.
The
It was
couple
crazy.
scenes with me for her initially right off the bat. Obviously the tick tick tick.
Yep.
Tick tick tick.
That's
I just
the
thought
coolest way to tick through a multiverse.
I thought it was so creepy, but
Yeah.
so effective in what it was trying to do.
That was mind blowing.
It just showed how
The best
easily.
multiverse villain.
Literally. And then the way they showed her.
That blew
Taking-
Wanda out of the water for a multiverse villain, I will say.
The
Like,
way,
it
the
showed-
way they showed her taking her to her in her mind.
hmm The bagel.
Yeah, the bagel.
Oh, the everything
that-
bagel. What
that-
happens when you really put
That was
everything
so
on a bagel?
trippy.
I did
bro.
like that concept, though.
It was
like,
so trippy. Oh my god.
everything just broke it down to, like,
It's still mind blowing, like the grabs, like the whole concept.
basic
of
family struggles. And how you can
The
either...
divorce right off the rip.
Yeah. you can either run from it and say, hey, like, this isn't for us, or you can, like, really try to understand each other and understand, like, your partner and who they are, and then build from that. So, like, this is what's, like, kind of cool about this movie is that, like, yes, it's a crazy sci-fi multiverse movie, but at the same time, like, it is a family movie with, you know, some
romance
inappropriate things happening
or
also.
broken romance trying to be rebuilt. Yeah.
They rebuilt it really strong, though. You
I want to say Jamie Lee Curtis did her thing, as always. I didn't even recognize her at first until, you know, she started getting into, like, the action scenes.
Oh, when she started yelling out Mrs. Wang.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell it's her voice at that point.
Yeah.
Almost like she's calling out for Michael.
Literally, man. I was like, what? That's Jamie Lee. Oh.
And when I saw her charging up and she got sucker punched by Evelyn, I was like, yes! And then she started wincing, and I'm like, oh no, it's the wrong one!
No, she kept saying, I love you. I love you.
Oh my god.
Bro, that y'all got me dead, and he left her.
To Deidre or whatever.
Yeah.
He just left her.
So it looks like
you're not the one. You're not the one I thought.
So it looks like Stephanie Sue, the one who plays Joy, the only thing that I really know her from is Shang-Chi. Mm-hmm. But that's about it. For me, she was the standout. I just thought she was I thought she did a great job as the villain. She was menacing. That scene in the hallway when you first realize that it's Joy as Jobu Tupaki. When she starts turning people's heads into confetti and shit, you realize how strong she is.
Oh, yeah.
And it just doesn't let up from that point on. Like, it gets really creative with a lot of the different multiverses. The hot dog fingers, the Raccoon-Cooney.
How many different multiverses did we see all together?
They visited them.
There was like a couple. Like
we saw the martial arts one. We saw the pizza one. We saw the sex dungeon one.
Yep.
We saw hot dog fingers, the Raccoon-Cooney, so that's 5.
The Rock.
The Rocks, the Pinatas.
Yep.
Yeah, there was
so many.
Lot. The Chef, well, that's Raccoon-Cooney.
But for this to not even be a, like, say, a multiverse movie in the title, you know?
Yeah.
It just broke so many barriers down. Like, in breaking through each different, like, universe was so unique, and I wasn't even thinking anything of it. That whole entire time that Evelyn's talking about Raccoon-Cooney, I'm like, this bitch just doesn't know, like, what the hell she's talking about.
It was crazy.
Then to see the raccoon at the end, it was like everything went full circle in this movie, and that's what I loved.
I knew he was about to pick up once on the elevator when he handed her that paper.
Yeah.
And on the back of it was like just step for step how to to trigger the multiverse, and she wasn't even paying attention the whole time that it was the divorce papers on the back. So it was even more crazy after she found that out, because then it was like she was just in her mind, in the back of her mind, she thinking it's all part of the multiverse.
Yep.
And the husband, he's thinking something else. He's thinking, oh, she's crazy. The thing I'm divorcing her. So like what is going on?
This is
like we in debt. You over here going crazy.
You don't love me.
So,
bro, your father never fucked with me.
So this movie is brought to you by the Daniels, the directors of Swiss Army Man, the Daniel Radcliffe farting corpse movie. So I kind of knew I didn't know what to exactly expect. I just knew it would be a little bit bonkers, but this took it to a level I didn't really anticipate. I would have loved to have been in the writing room for this, just to see like how the hell they came up with some of the ideas for this shit.
How the hell do you come up with the trophy scene?
Just weird stuff in general.
The trophy scene, I was in tears. That was insane. They had it blurred out where you see the security guard just spreading his ass, ready to jump around to that trophy.
And jump spread eagle.
That was so weird.
And
bro.
when you're watching the fight, you see the trophy like wiggling out of his ass as he's fighting.
It's
Evelyn.
so bad. But it's so good at the same time.
And then the little paper cuts, the 2 paper cuts.
Oh,
or
that
whatever.
was-
where he has to do it
That was the
between-
most
Yeah.
cringy scene in the entire
bro.
movie.
I was like, what the?
Like,
that
I don't know,
was
the
like,
hot
bro.
dog fingers, dude.
Oh yeah, the hot dogs was the most. That was the most.
That
That
was-
shit unsettled me.
But the
Man.
paper cuts is the most realistic, bro. Do you know? Like, I've not cut myself with a knife as many times I've cut myself on a piece of paper. Like,
Yeah, it's like short.
don't you eat my chips. You will not gain any
It's like a
multiversal
short
powers.
chance of me cutting my hand on a piece of paper. I never think I ever really done that like that.
Yeah, and then to like do it,
Perfectly, and then mess up the last one. Man, it was
No.
wild. It was a lot of wild stuff that triggered the multiverse and
Then I
the
like-
staples to the head.
at one point they were just trying everything, you know, and she goes, it wasn't weird enough. Like, you did something strange, but it wasn't weird enough to trigger like a new multiversal like experience.
Yeah, she kept messing up and going into triggering the wrong one.
Can we also talk about this one scene? I don't know what it was. I might be just really into dark comedy and just fucked up humor.
That's definitely what it is.
But when
Continue, though.
Debbie the dog mom is taking over and she's swinging the Pomeranian
Oh
and
my
Evelyn
God.
just slices it and the dog goes launching and hits a few of the offices.
Yeah.
I was in
I was dying.
stitches, man.
Oh my God.
Like,
you know
I
I
was in
love my dog,
hysterics.
and I'm like not one for animal
You
abuse.
just hear it like
That
fucking hit like 3 desks on the way out. I was
that shit
in
was making me
tears, man.
laugh.
This is probably the funniest movie I've seen this year, along with the best / most action filled, most creative. I just don't see any movie coming close to this for me this year.
Yeah,
Like-
it's a pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big one up there for me on my list.
Like
It's in its own, like we said, it's in its own box. Like
Yeah.
nothing comes close to it.
No.
Like even with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you know they had a multiverse theory. It was completely different than this. There's 2 separate movies.
2 different type of.
So like you have all these different concepts and everything on how to get through and how to break through the multiverse or what it does, and like this one was just so strange, so bonkers. It
like,
resonated with everyone.
It literally, they did it to the T of uniqueness and weirdness, to where you're trying to grasp everything, but they're moving the pace and the tempo of the movie is just moving so.
Yeah,
quick.
you don't notice it all at first.
Yeah, you don't notice everything at first. You gotta watch it a few times, and it, they split it up into arcs. Like part 1, part 2, part 3, and you're sitting there still trying to grasp part 1. I'm like,
I gotta say, when we got to the all at once part,
oh my
I was just like,
It
well,
was-
part 1 and part 2 were like an hour each.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell are we gonna do for part 3?
literally.
Yeah, bro.
We get to that part and I'm like, how much longer do we have to go in
Yeah,
this
and I was
movie?
looking at my phone. I'm like, bro, so this is only about to be like last like 10 minutes. They about to go crazy.
It was a really quick ending. I was very relieved at that point because we had just gone through a whole lot towards the end. I love the breakthrough with Evelyn and Joy, where Evelyn does finally admit to Gong Gong that Joy does have a girlfriend. But also
Breaking
her
a cultural wall.
yeah, along with the fact that she does have this like thing in common with Joy now, or Jobu Tupaki, her different multiversal daughter, but they start having an understanding of each other and an understanding of the multiverse, and it almost brought this connection to them that was really personal yet so grand in scale. And the same thing with Evelyn and Wayman, where no matter in what multiverse, they
They're
always
finding
seem
each
to
other.
meet each other. That line by Wayman at the end where he says something along the lines of, in another universe, I would love to do laundry and taxes with you. I just thought all around, like towards the end, it got really heartfelt.
Yeah.
On top of all the bonkers and insanity, which I don't know how they pulled this off. This is probably one of my favorite movies the past few years. Just all around phenomenal.
This will remain a
True
favorite.
multiverse of madness.
This was definitely madness in the multiverse for sure.
Like, man, I'm gonna have to watch this boy until I die.
Yeah. Every time you watch it, I think it'll keep getting better.
Every
So,
single time.
I have a question for the end of this one after we give our final thoughts.
Yeah, everybody give their rating really quick, and then we'll give it off. So I think for this one, the rating is an A plus. Honestly, like
Obviously.
Yeah.
I think for everybody,
I
it's
think
gonna
that
be
one's
A+.
across the board.
But it's just too good. It's too unique. It's nothing like we've said this whole time. Nothing else is like this movie. It's gonna have you on the edge of your seat at times, and you're just gonna be like, no, like that.
For how low.
That doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense for it to make sense in this movie. As weird as that is, just watch it. It'll make sense.
So, real quick question for you two.
For how low, I just want to say for how low
Yeah.
the promoting was too for it. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people still don't know about this.
There's
movie.
like hardly any advertising.
I mean, it didn't have that big of a marketing budget, nor a budget in
Like,
general.
when I took my dad to
So
see
well.
it,
It's
'cause,
been
he's a big fan of like half of these actresses. Like he's big on kung fu movies. When I took my dad to see it, he didn't even know nothing about it. Like he was like, "What?" He was naming all these. Oh, there go. Like naming all these actors. I can't even pronounce it. I'm like, you know them, but you don't know about this movie. Like, bro.
Yeah, it's just heavily slept on, man. But I think now that it's out there, and once like we get to the next like award ceremony and everything for movies and entertainment, that's when it's really gonna shine.
So, quick question for you guys. So in terms of the movie, the way that they're able to jump multiverses is like the least likely statistical probability of something happening. What is the least likely thing that you would do right now that would get you to jump into a different multiverse?
Well, he's like unsatisfying thing.
No, like
weird,
the least
weird
likely thing that you would usually do in your everyday life that would make you jump into a different multiverse that you never do.
It would have to, like, what's some crazy shit that would get you to jump?
Something crazy.
Man.
I would go right off the rip. Skydiving. Yeah, if I'm skydiving, I'm getting sent into the farthest, most powerful universe because there ain't no
It's
way
gotta be
in hell.
something quick though. Something like in like accurate, like something. If
Oh.
you're in a fight, like you can't just be like, I'm gonna skydive and get multiverse powers.
Oh, if I had to do something right off the rip,
Yeah.
I'd probably eat watermelon. I'll never eat watermelon.
What?
I
Get
hate.
the fuck
I
outta
hate
here.
watermelon, bro. I hate
You
that
say
shit.
eat watermelon
If I
as
ate
if
that
that's the
boy-
craziest thing
Hey,
you could do
to
in
If
be
I
life.
fair,
eat that boy,
I'm just saying
I would
per the
transport.
person. Per the person we're going off of. So
Alright.
eating watermelon does qualify.
I hate watermelon to the passion.
Man.
Like that junk is not bust.
I will say, anything with wind blowing on my face, I would fucking lose it. Almost like when Evelyn blew into the one guy's nose and started screaming.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like something along the lines of that would fuck me up. Yeah, I would be getting sent. Like no more here anymore. Gone forever.
I feel like eating like some type of like pet food or something.
I was gonna say pepperoni.
Nah.
Not Drake.
Shut the hell up, man. Eating some type of like pet food would be something like quick to gain like multiversal power, but like
So,
something
like-
that I don't do ever, bro.
So like when you get pretzels at a bar to sober up.
Listen, alright.
You know.
Aside from all the harassment they're gonna give me for drinking, which I don't even do that much of anymore, we can move back to the sole purpose of this
Is that
film.
Michelob Ultra over there, Eric?
That's not mine. That is Malcolm's.
I don't see his name on it.
That's what the M's for.
This is your
Michelob Malcolm.
This is your domain.
I thought it
Anyways,
stood for Paul.
anyways, this movie A+ rating. If you
A+.
haven't seen it, please go see it.
plus.
It's definitely worth it. It'll get your jaw dropping every single step of the way.
We're not even overhyping it, bro. It's worth the hype.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. We don't
Yeah.
have any
We don't
friends.
have
we
A button
I
anywhere
will
yet.
I will insert it.
He's working on it.
I've gotten it on one video
A button
successfully.
here.
Either right here,
Maybe right here.
right here. Who knows? Maybe we'll just cover Toke's face with it. Maybe mine.
Imagination. If you imagine it.
Maybe I'll just
it's
put
there.
one over each one of our faces, so that way they just have to click on one of our faces.
I don't know. We're getting better at this, guys. Some could argue worse. But
Slowly but surely. This one's kind of
Baby
spiraling
steps,
out of
baby
control right now, but we're also at a solid 2:14 a.m.
yeah.
So click
It's
on
been a
us,
long day for
like
us.
This is it for tonight. We are tapping out.
Yeah.
It's a good night from me, a good night from Eric, a good night from Toke. Happy New Year, happy 4th of July, whatever it may be.
Alright.
I
Y'all
lost
have
a lot of
good
blood
one.
before this, so that's why I'm going on a tangent.
Alrighty. That's it from the Critic Court, people. Have a great night.